That's exactly why I'm not doing that, Larry.
Okay, so then I learned after that I would go to my wife's pincushion and I would take one of her needles out of there, and I would just put some alcohol in a lid, the bottle lid, and sanitize that, just to kill the germs on that needle. And if you'll take and go in, say, like at a 30-degree angle, and just start pushing it, and it won't make you throw up.
Larry, what don't you understand about the fact that I just explained how big of a sissy I am and how I don't like pain? I'm not doing this.
I'm telling you, when you do that, that blood comes out of there like water out of a squirt gun.
Yeah, okay.
And you will feel relief right away when the pressure
I
is
feel
on.
relief knowing I'm not going to do that. But thank you, Larry. I appreciate the kind words. I'm not doing it. Let's go to Cliff Freeman right now, who's got to be thinking, what in the hell are they talking about? Real estate expert analyst. Cliff, how you doing?
Well, I'm doing okay. That was a nice discussion there.
Yeah, I took a baseball to the big toe with sandals on at 80 miles an hour. So my toe looks like Toezilla, and it's all swollen and blood under the nail. And everybody's trying to get me to puncture it or drill it to relieve it. And I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it because I don't like pain, Cliff.
Oh, my gosh. I can appreciate that. That's for sure.
Yeah. All right, but listen, I don't have you on here to talk about toes. I have you on here to talk about homes and builders and everything else because the June survey of home builders, the demand for new homes is cooling off. Buyers are canceling orders. Builders are slashing prices to offload homes. What's going on here, and what's it mean for the average everyday consumer?
Yeah, well, it's no secret that the market got ahead of itself in terms of affordability, and with the new home builders, what precipitated this sort of like busting contracts, and they're in kind of a mild panic right now because demand is slackened. If you look at the two components, Bloom Daddy, that make up affordability. One is the home price, and the other is the cost of the money that we borrow, the rent on the money, the interest that we pay on the money to buy a home for a loan. So this is something that is really helpful to remember. For every 1% increase in mortgage rates at this level, each 1% increase is going to reduce a buyer's buying power by approximately 10%. So what's happened, particularly in the new home side, is buyers who went under contract 6 to 9 months ago and didn't lock their interest rate.
Yeah.
Well, rates went from, at the end of last year, say 3.25%, all the way up to the mid 5s to high 5s. You've got a huge increase in the cost of the loan. And so many buyers who qualified at the lower rates were not able to do so when the time came to make the purchase. So that contributed a lot to what's going on right now.
All right, so Cliff, is the housing market cooling off too fast, or is this a healthy correction and a buying opportunity for people?
Well, so, there's still tight inventory, but the shift is real. What's going on is not catastrophically bad, but there is a rush now of sellers to be ahead of the curve. Seasonally, July 4th is typically the time when we move from the spring and summer buying and selling season, into the slower fall and winter seasons. And so we would normally see a peak in prices at this point. What was interesting is over the July 4th weekend, that week, we actually saw prices to continue to move up a little bit, albeit really, really slowly. So I think the implicit message in here is that with the supply and demand issues, we're still behind on being able to fill all the demand, even though it's down, but it's unlikely that we're going to see the big price gains that we've seen in the past couple of years. There was just too much gas on the fire with rates being as low as they were, and that's what really precipitated this huge run-up in house prices that we've seen recently.
Talking to real estate expert Cliff Freeman. Taking a look at some of the numbers here, Cliff. Sales of new homes fell 31% this June as compared to last year. Cancellation rates jumped in June to 14.5% nationally. That's up from 6.5% a year ago. And Texas saw the highest rate of cancellations, followed by the broader Southwest and Northern California. And a quarter of home builders are reducing their prices. That's according to the John Burns Real Estate Consulting Survey.
Mm-hmm. I would say it's probably more than a quarter are reducing their prices now. At the peak of all the excitement back last month, people were on resale homes. People were bidding way over list price, and we saw multiple offers. Well, as soon as rates jumped up at the rate that they did with the speed that they moved up, buyers were pretty much shut out of the market. I mean, if my buying power has been cut by 20%, then I have to make that decision as to whether I'm going to settle for a $300 or a $240,000 house instead of a $300, or if I'm just going to wait and ride the market out and see what happens. There was so much speculation, Bloom Daddy. Earlier, and particularly in Texas, we had one of the largest shares of institutional buyers in our market. And what that causes is a bit of speculation and overheating of the market as institutional money comes in to compete with people who actually need a roof over their head. So now that the prices have begun to peak, we're going to see a lot fewer institutions coming in to sort of catch that arbitrage. I mean, that was guaranteed money for them for the last 2 years. They could buy it, hold it, and then have a guaranteed profit. That is going by the wayside here.
All right, Cliff, thanks for being on the show today.
Yes, sir. Pleasure. Hope your toe's okay.
Yeah, we'll find out in time. Cliff Freeman, real estate expert and analyst. Speaking of my toe, let's go to Menor. 216-578-1100 because Stephanie's sick and tired of hearing me whine. Did you really come on here to yell at me, Stephanie?
Yes, I did. I'm a nurse, and I had the same thing happen to me. Not with the 85-mile-an-hour baseball, but I dropped a colossal can of Lysol on my big toe, and oh man, did it hurt! So I, went to just the doctor's office, and they drilled 3 little tiny holes and, pushed the blood out because that's what's causing all the pressure and causing all the pain. And then I got an x-ray to make sure I didn't have a broken toe. I got a shot to make sure I wasn't in pain. I got a little boot, and, my toe, the nail fell off, but you're going to cause way more pain leaving it like you are than if you just had it drilled.
But see, that's my answer to everything, Stephanie. I just leave it and hope it takes care of itself. I do.
It won't. You'll just be in more pain.